What happened?
Okay, here we are live. So welcome, Joseph, Ghabi. So this is exciting. We're going to touch on a lot of things today, on the good, the bad, and the ugly about Donald John Trump, and different comparisons to other people that are in office with him or in partnership with him. So Joseph is one of my teachers of numerology and also a student of mine in psychosomatic numerology. So Joseph is one of the best in the world. He's been doing it for many, many years, looking at people's charts, and he's very sought after for personal development, and also a great artist, as you can see what's behind him. So welcome, Joseph, coming all the way from heaven and earth sanctuary here in Costa Rica. So welcome here.
Thank you for having me, Carol, and I look forward to our conversation today. And as you know, that I am almost 85% retired from numerology. I've been doing it for 30 years. So
Wow.
I'm at the end of the rope with it. So, but it's always fascinating to look into the vibration of people and how the soul create a specific chart, because it reflects many things about a lot of things. So let me quickly introduce myself for some people who doesn't know me already, just very quick. And I started my journey even in numerology when I was young. And this is where it happened for me that I started to look to the Egyptian numerology, even at age of 17, 16, 17, a little bit of that. And I opened my clairvoyance since I was 8. Now, moving to the States at 19 to study electrical engineering and computer science as a master in computer science, almost 3 weeks after graduation, I quit. So I moved from New York City to Montreal, and this is where I embarked into into my spiritual journey. And because I don't read usually, because every time I read something, after 5-6 pages, I sleep. So somebody gave me 2 books for numerology for a numerologist, but 2-volume book, I'm not gonna read it. So I usually put it under my pillow and slept on it. And then I went into meditation, and I discovered I've been doing a lot of numerology in the past lives. So I started downloading what I need from those lifetimes. And what I use here, I use the Pythagoras because he's a mathematician, and I used to be a lot into mathematics, so that fit well. And I studied electrical engineering, which has energy, vibration, and frequency, and that's what I use in numerology for 30 years. So, and that's where it led me. I have my book on numerology, The Blueprint of Your Soul, available on Amazon. And that's what I've been doing it. And it's like I decided last year to retire a little bit, to slow down into the numerology, because I have more interest. And as you see, the painting showed up, and I downloaded that gift, and then I start. Even now, I'm teaching it. So thank you for having me today, and I'm ready to rock and roll.
Oh, wonderful. See, many, many gifts come out as we're all evolving together. And what I see is your right brain, your creative side, coming out a lot more beyond numerology. So, but I feel as souls, we gather all these gifts and bring them all together with where we're going. So, yeah, so wonderful to have you here.
So, I mean, look, we all have gifts, we all gifted, but unfortunately we don't see those gifts because we never thought we are gifted.
Yeah.
But if you look to everybody's chart, there's gift everywhere for all of us, but nobody believes that. And we've been programmed that way, and to believe that you're here just to help everybody else except yourself. So most of us lack the self-love that we all need. And we're not touching in that, and then we avoid completely all what we call our gifts, and this is not true because we all can awaken those gifts. We all have them, and for example, if you get interest into the psychosomatic learning, I bet you whatever you want, you already touches into that subject in a past lifetime. You're not gonna get interest for nothing. There's something behind it. It doesn't have to be the same way, but something maybe very close to it. And that's where we need to start exploring the stuff we do too often that we're not even paying attention to them. So, and that should be fun.
Yeah, absolutely. So
So where are we going today?
we're gonna look at Trump's chart. Like I say, the good, the bad, and the ugly, or where I don't like to say ugly, but challenges, where his challenges might be, and what he's on this, what his mission is through numerology.
Right.
And
Now, my numerology style, I never looked into a numerology and caring too much about the destiny of the person. For the reason, because I realized from 30 years experience with playing with it, that most people are stuck somewhere else. So we need to unstuck them first with whatever happened into their childhood maybe, or somewhere else. And this is why they're not able to see the full extent of their destiny at what they meant to be doing. So I'm gonna be a little bit different. So let me bring the chart for Donald John Trump as when he was born, uh, with that chart. And this is where, with this chart, as you can see, he's born in June 1446, 1946, because we have to count the 19, and his destiny is 31-4. Now, the destiny, as we can see it here, is a 4, but the first two numbers here is a childhood and his upbringing, when he is more older on his own. So the childhood was a 3, and after age 27, he's playing with the 1 vibration here, and until he embarked into his 4. So basically, what the first thing I will look into the chart, I will see this in front of me for me to understand it. Then I will look immediately to the blueprint challenges. What challenges he might have. Now, while I'm doing that, I notice that he have a 14. 14 is about karmic debt. So he's coming with a karmic debt of 14-5, which is about freedom. And what I mean by freedom is every style of freedom: freedom from family, freedom from culture, freedom from religion, freedom from our way of thinking, that his way of thinking that doesn't support him any longer, freedom from his thought doesn't apply any longer in his life, freedom from negative people around him, freedom from his unnecessary responsibilities, and freedom from all his fears. So there's a lot of freedoms, and I noticed this in the last even 20 years, the majority of the chart I've been doing, they all have the concentration of that 5. Because we're coming into the 5D consciousness, so there's a lot of people that are getting themselves ready for that breakthrough into the freedom that we all looked for, that freedom. So he has that coming in from for his side. Now, 40% of our life is based on our destiny, and 10% is on his 14-5, his day of birth. That means the day of birth is very important for somebody's life. If his 14-5 is somewhere else, it's not the same impact of the 5 is coming in here, which is, it give him the potential that he can open up himself to whatever he needs to finish, and then he can probably start helping other people to gain their freedom in one way or another. So it is something that we have to look into it. Now, his challenges here, which is mostly earthly challenges. So it is here about his leadership, and not to be sitting into the back seat, because his major challenge is too that he brought with him from a past life into being into the back seat in those past life, but now he's working into conquering it into this lifetime and bypass the back seat to be in the front seat. And we can see it in his type of work. and what he brought himself. And we see the one that is sitting here, that he have to work on that. He have no choice. And
And
it is
one
part
being
of
what?
his lesson.
One
Was that?
being creativity and confidence in the crown chakra.
Yes. Yes. It's creativity and confidence, but it is about the leadership.
Yeah,
It is about to become more uh, open up from many different perspectives in order for him to see the potentials that to bring the confidence and the independence for him. Because if his major challenge to be into the two, that's been in a past lifetime, all the challenges, these we usually bring them from past lifetimes. Now, I'm not going to dispute if we believe in past life or not. That's irrelevant to me at this point, because that's how I look at from those perspectives. Now, he came in with his major challenge too, and this is major challenge too. Basically, is about relationship, how he handled people,
that's
and how, you know,
which is
technically people with two, they have a big gigantic heart,
yeah.
but
Two
then
is heart chakra, cooperation.
it's the heart chakra, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And what they do usually is they sit in the back seat because they don't want, in case they get hurt. So he's coming into the first challenge is coming. He wants to conquer that one. Now he chose a parents probably to open the door for him to be doing that. So, and that's because this is his first challenge is in the first 32 years of his life. So that's what his upbringing from home, and that's where he will have those aspect of that. At one point in his life, he have the challenge of the three, which is basically he needs to have the to communicate his messages properly, to express it, and be more centered, talking more emotion in his talk. And and the last challenge he have is a four is basically to for me, because he's strong with a four, he have three fours in his name, so he's already strong with a four. So basically to me the four here is more for him to be grounded.
Yeah, that's base
And
chakra process and stability, right? Base chakra.
yeah, yeah. So and that's very essential, very important for him to have that stability.
Well, I
Now,
think you even see it in his body. He's very solid.
yeah.
I'd say
So
built like a brick shit house.
so basically he basically needs more of the grounding for him, and this is where and seeing even the rallies, when he is into the rallies is a big ground for him
Yeah.
to be around, because remember his harvest here, this harvest is a 20/2, and the 20/2, uh, the two is about relationship, how to deal with people one-on-one.
Oh
But he
yeah.
have that master number 20 that only opened for him in a strong way when the 5D consciousness started in December 21st, 2012. And that vibration, now he wants to not only cater to one-on-one, he wants to cater to masses. Now, what I realized for him, one thing, when I was doing the chart, because I do all the charts me by hand, I calculate everything by hand because I like it to feel the energy of the chart, to be into it. So I don't do it on the computer straight. I
Yeah.
will do it by hand because I want to feel the energy of his chart. And I realized for him, like, he have a lot of numbers. Now this is his birth number chart, and we will look into the Donald J. Trump later. He have a lot of numbers that whatever he does, they cannot open until we get into the 5D consciousness. They've been activated. And we can see it more there in that chart with the J Trump. This is a general one for him from those perspective, and that's where he is. As you notice here, look how this is a soul urge and the blueprint inner self, and both of them are 7. That's coming from the soul directly. So he have affinity with 7s, and his last name is 7, his inner self is 7, his blueprint urge is 7, and even his growth from age 40 to the end of life is 7. Now, definitely that using his full name.
Yeah,
But
and I'm seeing it like the sevens being solar plexus. It's ego, identity, trust, and openness.
yeah,
Yeah,
and that's
in the
what
solar
makes him.
plexus.
Now, as you see here, he have 0 karma. He have all the numbers in his name. He have 0 karma. And
Really?
when we move to Donald J. Trump, he will have the 8 as karmic. But we don't see that from that perspective because the 8 is about money, power, and achieving recognition. And he already achieved that. So when he loses that, it's not gonna make him affected as much as what it is. Eventually, even Biden have that. He have the 8, but he jeopardized himself because everybody in the states, and even I experimented myself because my life went completely down the drain when everybody start to call me instead of Joseph, they start calling me Joe
Yeah.
because I lost the 7 and the 8 from my name. And the same Biden is because they call him Joe also. So that will have a lot of effect on somebody. And his blueprint maturity is 45, which is 9. And that means he's coming for the humanitarian part of himself. He's here to assist in whatever way. Those 7s that he have here that are supposed to work for him to improve the humanitarian side that he have.
So also
So
45 being the 45th president, right?
yeah.
And 9
So
brow chakra is wisdom through integrity, and that's why he keeps calling back the Constitution, right? I mean, everything's about integrity. So that's he's matured into that. But I wanted to go back a bit onto something you said, Joseph, was about one-on-one communication, and he's already achieved that. But I think he's an outsider. Like, he was never accepted in amongst the celebrities, really. He was kind of, because he never drank, never smoked, never did drugs, and he was kind of like watching all of them for all these years. He's been just watching how they're the things that are going on, right?
yes, remember when you have 7 people with 7 are people who like to be alone. They
Oh,
work better. They work better alone. So they have the 7s here are not there for just decoration. He really needs to be by himself because this is where he gets all his energies, where he gets his downloads, where he gets everything that might be given to him, because his line of communication is to connect, because like 7s usually they are the people who works alone. I tested that. Even I went into when I use the bus, I talk sometimes to the bus drivers, and I find out their birthday. I want to see if they have 7, and most people who works alone are 7s. Even engineers, most of the time they work alone. They only go for one meeting, but all their work is alone, and they're all 7s. So basically, if we don't have 7s in the world, we don't have inventions.
Brilliant.
Because these are the creator of, because they're onto their own world. They're not getting into, So if you have a child with a 7, it's like everybody sitting on the dining table, and that 7 sitting on the back of the stairs going next to his bedroom. He or she ate their dinner, and they sit on the chair, not to be associating with everything going on the table. So they're always been withdrawn. Like for me, the 7, I call them sometimes, it's just for fun of it. I say they are weird, but technically they're not weird. They are unique.
Yes.
And that's where people that they mistaken them for something else. And because of that flare of weakness in a sense of it, but I see uniqueness. And they are very unique because they have a style. And the reason they withdraw from everybody, because when they don't know how to express whatever is going on in their life at that point, then they withdraw themselves from everybody until they figure out what they need to express themselves with. So that was his early childhood, if he was using this full name from that perspective. And it's and the 9 here in the blueprint maturity, which start at 40, finish at the end of life, is 9 is basically is about being a humanitarian, but also 9 is about the end of situation in order to start something new. Now, where is that situation? Could be in his life, could be in his surrounding, could be everywhere. So he's working with that, and where it is, I found it is going to be using the whole universe with it, because his subconscious, which is part of the collectiveness of past lives and everything else. So he's coming to end the situation from that long distance in order to start something new with that first name that he encountered into his birth certificate. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So
But
where does the 0 come in? That 90.
the 9, because he have no karma, he have nothing, because he have no zeros in any of the, he's not missing any number from his name.
Okay, so that's to me like psychosomatically 0 is brow chakra, and that's
It's the brow chakra.
Inner gifts
It's a completely brow chakra.
Yeah.
So this is where he have to take it from those perspective and see how it's affecting him from those angles. Now, if we go from this chart and we bring the J trump, the other one, for example, and emphasize from what he's using today, and everybody calling him on that, is anything from his date of birth doesn't change regardless what's the name he used. So it's always fixed, those areas, it's always fixed. He cannot change it. He's into his last stage, the harvest result, and his harvest result, 20, 10 years ago, 20, I didn't consider it as a master number. Since the 5D, this became a master number.
And 2020 also, we're in 2020.
And 2020 we have here is another master number. And even before the karmic debt that he have here, 13.4, I never considered it as a master number. But for the last, we started completely using this 13, because from 30 years ago, when I got into my own communication with my own guides or source, 13 to me, for me, that I work with the 13 level of consciousness, and the 13 is God's consciousness for me. Well, and this is why it's superficial for some people.
13
without knowing why they.
13 is also the goddess number. I mean, 13.
Yeah,
they're using it. They took it out of they made it a evil thing instead of like it really. And then the Masons use it everywhere. I mean, they use the 13 against us.
So this 13 here he's getting into the God's number, and look here now his inner self. This is another master number. This is another master number. The 30 here. So it activated a lot of things for him, and that 20 has been activated since the coming of the 5D. So he couldn't run to be president before 2012. He cannot.
Yeah.
He won't succeed because he needs the activation of his 13 here. He needs that activation. He needs the activation of that 10, that 30, and that 20.
So going off of it, just Joseph, just reading the Keys of Enoch now, I think I sent you the PDF. If you look at the key 303, it's almost what we are living right now is the 303. So just a side note there, that came up with me this morning. So now you're bringing up that number again. That's incredible.
So he have a lot of activation in his numbers from the point of the once 5D started in 2012 in December 21st.
Yeah.
So we are now in the 9th year of the first 9-year cycle of the 5D, and in 2021, this is why I call it, we're having the tsunami coming into 2021, because the 5D is starting a brand new cycle, and which is going to be a 1 year cycle, 1 year of 9 years. And then we're starting with 2021, which is a 5 years. So we have a new beginning into completely, to integrate more people into the 5D. And the 5 is to have them free from the matrix, from anything, because when we're saying 5 is about freedom from family, culture, or religion, that's a huge of the matrix, because we keep coming lifetime after lifetime, repeating the same thing into the same boundary of the same families over and over, until one day we say, let's cut this nonsense. And that's what I do in the healing work I do, is to take that soul agreement and let's cut those agreements. We don't need them. They've been signed maybe 200,000 years ago. Why I need to hold to them?
Yes.
So I don't need those agreements. This is where we're going to be freeing ourselves from the matrix in a faster way, because it doesn't take much, to be honest, to release that vibration. But when we completely unplug those energies from us, and it will completely free us. Even the people you have miserable time with them, your life can change with them completely, because now you're not bound by those agreements any longer. We're unplugging completely ourselves from that matrix. And this is where people, they're gonna have a hard time going into the 5D, and many are having a hard time to go to the 5D, because you cannot take your backpack with you into the 5D.
Yeah, just
you have to drop it.
Yeah,
emotional. So we have a lot of work
baggage
to do on ourselves.
Yeah, that's why going inside, they kept saying, go inside, go, stay inside or whatever. And I really didn't like the phrase, but now psychosomatically, yeah, stay in your body, look inside what's happening.
You have to look inside now, because it is very crucial. In order for you to jump into the 5D, you cannot have the 5D sitting and, it's gonna be, we turn a switch, everybody's gonna switch. It's gonna happen. We all gonna go into the 5D, but there will, for me, what I see that we're gonna have like 5 stages in the 5D of clearing out those pieces in the matrix. And the moment we pass the 5, then we walk in completely, but we have no backpack any longer. So we're all gonna get extra chance to completely cleanse ourselves, to completely unplug ourselves in order to get into the 5D consciousness, because it is very important. And people are still in denial of it, but it doesn't matter. It's a matter of a choice, because we have free will, but it is there for the bad, worse, or anything else from those perspective. But he's been charged up, so he cannot run for a president, even if he thought about it before. He needs the activation of the 5D for him to make him completely.
I've watched videos from when he was 34. They were already asking him, why aren't you running for president? And it's just, he knew it's not the time. And
not the time. He'll fail completely there at that time.
Well, even in back in when 2012, was it 2012? They were still asking him, and David Letterman and all of these shows that I watched, almost everyone asks why he isn't running for president. And he goes to win. Like he knew that he wouldn't win, like you say.
I mean, this is where, but he needed the activation of the 2012, the 5D consciousness, and that give him, it's like you ignited his engine. Now you're ready. So it took 3 years till to start the election, 2015, and when he decided to go in for it, and then, but he's coming a lot empowered. He have a lot of the 5D consciousness master numbers now that is empowering him to do whatever it is. Because if I did your chart 5 years ago, 10 years ago, I mean, now is completely irrelevant, that chart, because there's some vibration and you might change everything, the dynamic of it, and it's not anymore the same way, because the 5D operates on a higher frequency. We all know that.
Yeah.
So, but then the vibration around us has to match up for this higher frequency. So many people that they've been sleeping all their life, 5D, and they had the opportunity to wake up now, they're gonna jump so fast.
Yeah,
because
I say it's like plugging your blow dryer into the Hoover Dam. That's what you know. It's that's why we keep saying we have to even circuits knock down, like lower the circuits, and you know, it's just you can't jump that fast, and most people will end up in psych wards.
But remember, the majority of us are coming to at this time into this to experience the 5D consciousness.
Yes. Are you still sharing your screen? Sorry, Joseph. Or are you still sharing your screen?
What screen?
Yeah. Do you have your screen on?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm seeing a picture or something, but that must be mine. Sorry.
Sorry. So I'm gonna bring the chart again. So so with the chart here now, so what happened? We have 7.6 billion people on this planet today. Why we have that many numbers? Because the majority are here to experience the change.
Yes.
The change is gonna happen, we like it or not, because it's a divine order. It's not like we have to negotiate with it or anything. And this is why many people are already into this consciousness now. They want to experiment that. Now, if you live during the Atlantis, or you think you have during Atlantis time, they used to be in 5D there at that time. And there's other also civilization, they used to be from a longer time. But then we got into the 3D, and this is when we start shrinking people and becoming sheep all their lives and being in control. And as I always say, if you're born during the Roman times as a soldier and you died as a soldier, you keep coming lifetime after lifetime as being a soldier until you break that contract and you break yourself from that matrix. And the same way if you've been a child abused at one point, and it's the same thing, you keep born into the same experience because that's the only thing you know about your that this is the only experience you have to do. You keep coming, especially if you are under the age of you passed away under age of 6, you keep coming back for the same experience until somebody comes in and say that's enough of this.
Yeah.
And you have to drop the whole aspect of it. So from those angles, so there is the activation for him, and that's what's happening, that is working for him. And now his maturity changed from 9 into the 8, and the 8 is about the karma. And in this case, because he had the 8 in his name before, it can be the karma for whole humanity from that perspective. So
well, that would be for me 8 being power and abundance.
Yes,
it's clearing it from the lower 3 chakras because it's solar plex and base, right? In psychosomatics.
Yeah.
Numerology.
It's and this is where it will that 8, in order to free it, you need to cut it, straighten out that 8 instead of keep turning into circles. And you need just to release that. And look, people think that our life is hard to fix or to manage or to do something about it, but it's not. Life is simple. We make it complicated.
Yeah.
And that's the way I look at it. Do you have any question on
the
Donald?
left? Yeah, the left brain makes it complicated. The right brain makes it easy.
But it's time for a change, you know.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we're stuck into the same nonsense. So, do you have any question on Donald Trump?
Well, Donald
And
J.
any
Trump, yeah, they J, like you say, it would be better if he used his full name, and which I very seldom use the J. I will say Donald J. Trump. I mean Donald John Trump. And coming back to just Googling a person's name, and I said this earlier, is about um, Donald meaning world leader, and uh, John being a gift from God, and Trump being sounding the trumpets. The If you leave out the John, you've just got the world leader sounding the trumpet. So you almost leave out the gift from God. So it's like when I took your classes, definitely it was, I had Carol M. Friesen for a long time, and then I changed it to Carol Maureen Friesen. And then my purpose came even more clarity when I used my second name, because Carol's kind of masculine and Maureen is more feminine.
Maureen, and this is why you brought more the female side back to you.
Yes, yeah.
You know, it's you took back your own power.
Yeah, I see a lot of people doing that.
To be honest, for me, I look always to the birth name, because this is what the soul wants it from the beginning. Now, many people say, how can the soul wants it, but your mom and dad chose your name? But ask your mom and dad, they all have a story how they got your name.
Yes, yeah.
You know, and that story, did it come on its own like that, just flying out of the blues? Or it was there because it meant to be that way?
Yeah.
You know,
exactly.
so there's no coincidence in life. We only make it as we go along with it, but we don't, there's nothing by coincidence. Things has to happen, because this is why I call it a blueprint, because it is guided. We have all our blueprint, but how many of us following it really?
Now
Not
I'm
too many.
chuckling, Joseph. I'm laughing about why Biden picked the name for Hunter, and now we're in hunt, Hunt for Red October, and everyone's hunting, and it's like the hunted and the hunter, right? It's
Yeah, I
amazing.
mean, there's no coincidence in anything, to be honest. So things will open up, things will happen at the right time when they need to happen.
Yeah.
And we don't need to bother why they're not happening. Just relax, be into your own present moment, and don't jump into your head for too long, and don't be spaced out and that you leave your body and you're not even connected to this planet anymore.
Yeah.
So we have to learn how to be in the present moment, and use whatever showed up anytime we have it showing up into our own environment. Makes
Exactly.
sense?
Yes, absolutely.
So, do you have any question on Donald J. Trump? Or I
Donald
can show you.
Trump.
I can show you the difference with Donald Trump also,
Yeah.
but I don't like. I
Yeah.
don't like him to use that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know. So this is where the Donald Trump is there, but also we're gonna look back into the name, because we don't care about the rest of it. But also, you see, with Donald Trump, it opened up. Still, the 20 here is always going to be opened up. And now he have the new master number of 12, the council. That is more emphasized for me, as I start emphasizing it more onto the 5D. So he have now the council as part of support. And he have the 10-1 here. He have the 11 master number with the vision. And
Yeah.
he brought in 2 sevens with him this time. Instead of being 9 or 8 before, now it is 7. So he's going back into the 7s that he used to have into his full name. And he's still missing the 8 here, because he lost John. And so it become karmic, the 8 now for him. But it can, because the 8, for me, if it's missing in the name, it become karmic debt. And the karmic debt is basically, uh, he might have the feeling that he'd be afraid to abuse his own power. But because he have the 8 already in his name, so that wasn't the case. So for me, I call it now, it is more self-sabotage. So, and why we do self-sabotage sometimes is because sometimes we're too bored. When you have zero karma, you have nothing, and it become boring. And we start creating something in order to change something. And where we can do the damage in changing anything is in the name. And because your destiny or your lifetime, the 31-4, it is what you're here to be as a calling for you. And for me, by the way, for the destiny, since the 2012, it's more for me, our destiny as a humanity, we all have the same destiny, which is to be happy, joyful, and fulfilled. And it
Yes.
doesn't matter what we do. Once we have the happy, joyful, and fulfilled, then we start going after the calling of the soul or the source or whatever you want to call that from there. But we need to bring the element of being happy in all the area of our life, because the table has 4 legs. If you have the 3 legs into the table, is that table solid?
Oh, so
Not,
the
not
4
that
areas,
much.
yeah, the 4 areas being physical, emotional,
The
mental,
physical, it's the
spiritual.
4 pillars, you know, the
Yeah,
4 pillars: mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual.
right.
So we need to learn to balance all of these. And that's where, you know, for me, that 8 is a more self-sabotage. And it reflects maybe for older abuse, doesn't mean done by him. It could be done by him or someone else representing his soul at that time. And he's coming to fix it. And that's for all, many of us, either we fix it or we keep staying in it. And that's where the difference. Either we still keep the abuse or we completely stop it. So basically, for me, that's easy to solve: is to go inside, get your power, use it, but simply don't abuse it. That's all it is.
Yeah.
So, but some, they're still into the abuse. That's all it is. So, and we can take it from there. So and also the blueprint growth change for him. It become 5 now, between 40 to end of his life, is into the 5 vibration, which is freedom.
Yeah, freedom
So,
through discipline, right? And it's the sacral chakra, and which is what we're here to correct, is the division between masculine and feminine, but also the division, like the sexual abuse and save the children, and the child sacrificing is how, and it's the 5th circuit on the
but look,
planetary hold on.
for in all my teaching, I always emphasize on that chakra, because if you don't have that chakra balance, you have no life, technically,
Right. And
because it
passion
has
too.
everything.
Yeah, it's passion, it's creativity, it's yeah, it's
Sensuality, sexuality, everything.
yeah,
So, and we, the first thing when we grow up, if you grow up with Catholics, they tell you immediately, what they tell you is sex is bad if you're not married.
yeah.
That's the first program. Then you hear it from another aspect, and they tell you something else. And from that arena, that I'm gonna shut down the phone. So from that aspect of things, we have to start looking into things much differently, and start allowing things, you know, because that energy is the most important. When I do my healing work, I even talk about uh, and what. So this is where I will say that this is very essential, very important, to have that aspect of our life to be completely taken care of, because it is our life into that energy. And if we're releasing a lot of emotions, I will always to take out that emotions, because they're going to be stored into that chakra. And and that can complicate our mood, our everything in life, and it will change many things because it has many different facets to it. So this is one of the most powerful chakras that we all have, and unfortunately is the most abused one.
Yeah, I mean, it's even in the scriptures and everything else, like the Virgin Mary. Well, excuse me, yeah, it puts a dirty swing on the feminine energy too. And I really believe that the shift right now is we're in it, which 2012, which is what, 8 years difference. Here's the 8 years again, is the rise of the divine feminine, and it's being stifled or blocked, which is our Kundalini energy, the life force of Mother Earth, and the light source need to come together. And especially what's coming, I mean, we're not even in the storm yet. That's December 21st when the solar flares come in. There's going to be so much turmoil, and to me it's like the light source is going to flash in and connect with the Kundalini of the earth. But that's the light within us also, and they're trying to block that even with the vaccination. Is all about the DNA and RNA. So, you know, right now they're just feeding off the loosh, right? The fear, like the dark side is feeding off people's fear and keeping people in fear. So the more we can get out of fear, and fear is what? That's the lower 3 chakras. And
the fear is 5 also, huh?
Yeah.
And the fear is in 5 usually. But remember, since year 2000, we started the female energy, and the female energy is with us for the next 1,000 years.
Yeah.
So, but since 2000, how much the men been resisting to allow the female energy to start? That we had a big resistance to it. Now, because they don't want to let go of their powers.
Yeah, well, the patriarchal.
Yeah, but it's too late. It has to change because it cannot go. We're already entering since 2000 into the 2 vibration. 2 is female.
Yeah.
And we have to get used to it. So the men, they need to open up their female side a little bit to get into those 2 brains, let them work together instead of having one brain, and start using it. And this is why even in my own work for the healing, I can see more men coming into my programs now than it used to be before.
Yeah, they're looking for it too.
Because they need answers too. They're looking for answers. It's like they know there's something changing, but sometimes they're not aware what it is exactly. So
let's just take a quick look at some of the other people in his life. Let's say Biden for one. Just quickly touch on maybe their relationship numbers together and where his challenges are.
So Joe Biden, if he changed his name back to Joseph, he get more aspect of him. But unfortunately, when you live in the States, everybody will call you Joe, regardless if you like it or not.
Yeah. Do you? You were called Joe, right?
They called me Joe until I came back to Montreal. They called me back Joseph.
Yeah.
You know.
And
then my life turned.
Yeah. What's Biden's second name? I can't remember.
His second name is, he doesn't use it, Robinette.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And he have a junior also.
Oh, wow.
You know, yeah. So definitely he's not gonna use Robinette. This is why, like when you have John, it's easier than a name that some people might have a hard time to pronounce it.
And Junior makes them small.
And just by becoming a Joe here, he lost the 7 and the 8 in his number. So that's where he is now. He have a destiny as 11/2 from his number. He have lots of master numbers. He have 11. This 20 will activate on the 5th dimension as Donald Trump. But his challenges here is all about freedom. His 5th chakra sacral chakra, and it's about freedom from everything. So this is where he's battling a lot for the freedom. Now, what he have back into those master from the early life, and now he's into his harvest, and he have 16/7, a karmic debt 7. So basically is to go within himself to find out who he is. And for the 7 is the inner reflection always, you know. And because of the 16/7, that's mean in a past lifetime, he had an abuse. It could be him or it could be somebody else representing his soul had the abuse of the gifts. And that's where, uh, because look at how much master numbers he got. So probably he's not using all of them, you know, but if that's 7/16/7, that he always feels that there's that abuse. But again, that's easy to fix. So he have to go within himself, get his gift, use them, but simply don't abuse them. That's all it is. So he has that. Now, the one thing, as you know me, you know me, when you took my course, I work birthday to birthday.
Yeah.
So Joe Biden today, he's still in his 7, is in his year 7, which is a year of reflection. Even his vice president, also, she just entered into year 7. So they're both 7. They're both into time reflection.
Ah.
Yeah, that's it. The only thing that I found that is really dominant, because him till he changed to the 8, I work birthday to birthday. Me, I don't work January to January. I work always birthday to birthday.
Yeah.
Because I do healing, more reflects the healing. So he'll enter into his 8th year on his birthday. You see here, I did put 2020 as he's still, his birthday is on the 20th.
Yeah.
He'll be in a different shape if he have the 8th here, and his birthday was before the election. He'd be in a better shape. But is still into his year of reflection. Hopefully he reflect into this last year what he exactly wants to be, do, or whatever it is. And but he's still in the 7. Kamala also went into her 7 on her birthday in October. So both of them are 7. That's not even to be fun.
Yeah.
So and put them into a brand new job in the sense of it. So and that's where I found it a little bit, you know, he have a karmic debt also in his expression using Joe Biden. And the karmic debt here is about bringing his leadership forward. He's always can be sitting in the back seat again, because it's a karmic debt. 1 and 2 always work together. So, and he always was to be into the back seat of somebody else leading. And this is where he needs to move that leadership into the front. And this is why applying to become into the presidents, that will help him to do that, you know, as long as he wins it, and then he take it from there.
Isn't
Even
this
his
very
yes.
interesting, Joseph, is that yesterday, and of course someone put a clip together on Twitter, is Camilla was in Fort Worth, Texas, and the announcer introduced her as the future president of the United States. And then they had the whole clip with Biden saying he's got, like, he's a running mate to Camellia. I call her Chameleon. Yeah, and the husband said at one meeting that he was the next first man of the White House, you know, like, and there's a whole clip of all these blips, and said, I guess he really is he's telling the truth. He's right out there in the open that she's going to be president and he'll be vice president. He'll step down or something. Yeah.
You know,
but
so he also have activation of his 12 here, but his sole urge is, we know that really there wasn't that abuse of gift, you know, and both him and the president today, they're both 7s coming from a family. So they're more into the spiritual side part of it. The only disadvantage for Biden, as I see from this chart, because I work birthday to birthday, it is he's still in his 7. And Kamala is already going into her 7 of reflection. And that is not, Now look what happened when he changed Joe to Joseph. His 7 and 8 become both karmic. And even his 8. The 7 is about abuse of the gift in a past lifetime, and the 8 about abuse of power in a past lifetime.
So now he's abused his power by being vice president, or even like up in government. He's abused his position.
Yeah, there's a lot of abuse of power in our world today. Let's face it.
Yeah.
And many you're gonna find they're missing 7 and 8. There are many for thousands of charts I did, over thousands, and it's all that the problem is 7 and 8. Now the biggest problem also will have is the 5, where he is coming to get that freedom from whatever area in his life he feel he's been stuck, and that's he's coming to have that cleared. So, but that can be corrected just by bringing Joseph back.
Well, let's not tell him that.
But he won't be using it now because for his age, it's like he got used to the other one and everybody call him that way. So he's not going to change it overnight. And also his 3, so sometimes he talks, when we have him missing 3 is about communication, is the throat chakra, and the 3 is about expressing, people who express very well, but most of the time people express talking vegetable and tomatoes, the nonsense, instead of expressing emotions.
Yes, yeah.
So he might stumble into his own expression sometimes because of that 0 in his 3. And let me see if he have the 3 in his other names, and he doesn't have 3 in his other names too. So the 3 is about his throat chakra here, and that brings can bring self-doubt also for the person with the 3, and it is about being secretive sometimes with the 3 negative, and you have to look at it from those perspectives. So he technically he was coming with only missing 3 in his name, but he added to himself the 7 and the 8 that are part of his soul. Yes, we're not disputing that, but he didn't have to go through them again because he came in with those numbers in his name.
Yeah.
But that's what I call it, self-sabotage.
Well, that is what he is doing, for sure. Self-sabotage. I mean,
and subconsciously he's into the 6 here, which is family. That's mean he's coming to completely disconnect. This is basically what I do in my work, where when I have the 6 here, that's mean that person needs to completely unplug from family, from culture, from religion, from anything. And he probably had some execution in the past lifetime where he need to also let go of those energies, because 6 is about those persecution, when sometimes we were doing healing and we're mistaken as doing witchcraft, for example, as an example.
Yeah. He's had a lot of deaths around him, like in his family. Didn't his first wife died and a daughter, and then Bo?
Yeah, I mean, it's not easy, because he have that 6 here. There's a lot of turbulences into the 6. Remember also his soul urge, 16-7, and his harvest is 16-7. Now, this is a karmic debt 7, yes, but also we have to take consideration that 6 here. We need to take that consideration. Remember when I do psychosomatic numerology, I put this one into the chakra for the crown.
Yeah.
This is for the heart, and
Yeah.
this is for the solar flex. So I use the 3 chakras. I don't use one. When we have those, that means there's extended lesson. It could be coming from either one of those chakras. So,
Right.
and that's where the 6 is very essential here. Uh, Anybody who's coming with the 6 into the subconscious, personally, to me, this is, I'm not saying it's according to numerology, because I do stuff, whatever the download tells me to do. And, but that 6 is a pattern for me to see it, that people, they're mostly coming to disconnect, and especially when you see uh, he needs freedom here in his challenge. And the 5 is freedom from family, culture, or religion,
Yeah.
and everything else. So the 5 is a total freedom, and we're going into the 5D, which is total freedom. That means he have to put his backpack now alone. Now, if he's not gonna go and dump his backpack, that's mean he's gonna go against a big current moving forward into his 5D, because he's going into the tornado and to face that tornado moving in. But is he gonna succeed with it? Is he not gonna succeed? That time will tell us how the action reaction happened. But we cannot go into 5D with our backpack. That's impossible to do that, because the 5D, you need to leave everything behind and move on. It's a completely new frequency. It's not gonna be happening, and the frequency that is already been elevated. Like these days, I'm sleeping like crazy. It's like there's some download, some adjustment into the frequency. I need to adjust it to me. So I feel I need to sleep here for an hour, half an hour, whatever it is, in order to feel I'm back to being recharged
Yeah.
for whatever is what's going on.
Well, the crystalline, the Schumann resonance, are the gamma rays are just bombarding us every so often. I'm not sure if you watch the Schumann resonance, but we're being bombarded, and then it slows down, and I can feel that I need to lay down and allow that energy to recalibrate within the cells of the body, and then suddenly I get way more downloads. It's just coming fast and furious of like connecting the dots and remembering all of this stuff. I mean, it's I mean, I've lived in La La Land for 20 years, and then this storm hit, and I had to come down to 3D, and what is going on here in the third dimension? And it's
Look, remember, 3D is comfortable.
exactly, but
So many people are comfortable in their discomfort too, even though they complain about it, but they're still comfortable.
Yeah,
So
exactly. Yeah,
and that's going to be a problem for them on the longer run, because
well,
they're going to be.
they don't want to shift. They don't want to see the truth even. I mean, they'll follow with the herds with masks, and I refuse.
And from a long time ago, I do believe, I've been saying it in my public speaking for many times in the last 5 years, that many people will be checking out, because they're not going to change now.
Yeah.
They're not going to be going for any change. So it's easier to check out than staying and experiment the new changes that's coming upon all of us anyway, regardless what faction we belong to, or what faction we believe into, what religion we trust, whatever it is. It's still, this is a universal thing, and we have no choice except to follow it.
Yeah. Are you doing the daily numerology, kind of like what the days are?
No, I stopped doing. As I tell you, I'm
No,
85% into
yeah.
retirement from it.
I meant, the energy of the day. That's not about.
Yeah, I do it for myself to see what's the energy today, but I don't put on Facebook or anywhere anything on. But I'm telling you right now, between now till the end of the year, the vibration is so high, and that started from October. And even September was a 9. It was also not, but October is a master number 10, November is master number 11,
Yeah.
and 12, or December is master number 12 of the 5D. So that's gonna be like rock and roll in the sense of it,
Yeah,
So
I was sending
and
things.
one day we might have one master number, one day we might have two, one day we had four last 2 days ago, four master number on the same day. So that the energy was completely boiling everybody, you know. So expect those energies that take shape, take place into our environment. If you feel going into turbulences, go sleep. You might have an update you need to bring it in. So go have a small nap, and you wake up much better than resisting the nap.
Yeah, I just go out in the jungle and swing a machete. Yeah,
Whatever way we can do it, but it is
exactly.
that that aspect into it. So that's you know
So let's do one more small thing. Is just I understand you haven't done Melania, but just maybe their numbers together. Like she's a 2911, right?
yeah.
In her destiny. I mean, and then
Okay, so for her destiny 2911, she have a master number the same as Joe,
mm-hmm,
and that any master number is to bring you the leader, the worldwide recognition, which both they have.
yeah,
So it's 11. 11 is a master number, which is they're both coming from an old soul. With that old soul, there's a vision, is to have the vision. Uh, uh, they're coming with a vision to make a difference into humanity. But remember, master number, it is like any other number.
yeah.
It can be positive and it can be negative, because it doesn't mean nothing.
Turn my
We
video
have many in the world. They, Hitler, it's 22. Saddam Hussein is 22. So they use their mastery number into the negative side. So we can have those from both sides. So from that angle, we have to consider that they have the best alternative. So the 11, it's a very powerful number, is how to communicate also with it on a bigger scale, on a larger scale, and how to interfere and bring the double one, which is strong on its own already. And the only thing with the 11 and the 1 and 2, like you have, if we say this is 1 and that's 2, 2 are sitting in the back seat, 1 wants to be in the front seat. So this one will walk to the other one and said, hey, can you come to the front seat, because I cannot do work from the back.
oh
And
yeah,
this one's respond, the 2 here said, what for, we're comfortable here.
mhm,
So they start having fight between those two. And remember, in psychosomatic, you'll cut the thing from
yeah,
the hair here,
yeah. The
because
typical,
that's a 1 and 2 fighting.
yeah, self-doubt.
The father mother fighting. You're hearing mom and dad again. So it's like they're fighting each other until you have a headache, then you stop fighting. you know but this is where, once they bypass that the 2 start to move into the front seat, then the 11 start to flourish everywhere.
Yeah, I
And
see
they can,
the double crown, right? I mean, we always say you got two $50,000 tiaras on your head. Keep your head on straight. And we call it 11s. I often calls the queen or the king. And she definitely has a lot of regal elegance about her, and a little bit of coldness, if you want to say. Not so much coldness, but she pulls back a lot, but she's very strong within herself, is what I always see. She's
yes,
very
because remember, the one, if it's connected, you're connecting to your source.
yeah,
This
yeah,
is why people are always, they're not connected, and this is where they, and in psychosomatic what disease can bring, you
yeah.
know so
Keep your head
because
on
of that
straight.
one is not straight, and that's where we can see that when people are not doing what they're meant to be doing, they're not
It's,
representing.
yeah. Well, the 9 also being integrity, right? Wisdom through integrity is so important. And she does. She seems to have a lot of integrity. And she'll
Yeah.
even call the Donald on it. Definitely.
And also, again, the 9 always the end of situation to start something new.
Yeah.
So
So their
that's, they always have that characteristic.
their relationship number
Yeah.
is what, a 6, right? 1 + 1 + 4 is 6.
Yeah, working together, it is a 6, and it is on the top. It is a 6, which is their relationship between each other, their commitment with each other.
In the heart
And
chakra.
on the bottom is a 2 to help them to. It's about the relationship between each other now.
Yeah.
The 2 is a communication part of it. Is not to step on each other's toes, and you know, and respect each other from those perspective, and not to be one bossing the other one.
I think
But
that's very much
but
what you see in
yeah,
their
and
relationship.
on top of that is a 6, is that commitment between each other, you know, and the family and all of this, what comes from the 6 itself. 6 is one of the most powerful number.
Yeah.
So you have the 6, you know, because the 6 contain the male and the female. You can divide 6 by 2, which is a female. You can divide it by 3, which is a male.
Yeah.
So 6
Well,
has a lot of good quality to it.
as you
And
understand. Well, you're a 336, aren't you? I'm a 246.
yes, so
I'm a 246.
you're 246. So, so this is where, so this is what, like, between me and you, if we're gonna add the 6 together, like we're bringing the council now, the 12.
Yeah. Well, it's funny too. I
You
noticed
know,
on Biden and Trump's relationship is a 6 also.
yeah, yeah, it's the same as Melania.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same. It's the same number. So it's not like it is the same number, but it might not be the same type of relationship.
No, what I'm seeing it
you know,
as, I look at the hierarchy, like with the soul and personality rays and Herman's charts too, is the 6 is the middle Christ consciousness. It's through the ray of love wisdom, the second ray of love wisdom. And I think that, like, to me, in using the galactic signature blueprint, looking at the relationship with Biden and Trump, is both of them, they come together in the 3rd chakra as the prophet or the red Skywalker, and then their 4th dimensional self is the dreamer. And I mean, I'm going to do a whole video on that later on, but it almost, they're both, their challenge and their greatest gift, a Biden and Trump relationship together, is the dreamer. It's the blue knight, which is the 4th dimension, which we're going through right now. And Trump's got the American dream and Biden's got the American nightmare. It's like he's playing the devil's advocate to wake people up. I think he's right in the right place, and he's doing his highest work by just waking people up. And I was talking to an astrologer that does the 13 signs with Ophiuchium in it, which happens in around December 21st when the solar flare comes in, which is the warrior fighting the snake. And now I forgot my train of thought. Yeah, we're all in our exact where we are. He is doing his soul purpose. And Trump is here. She said Trump was here to separate the souls. It's like separating the tribes of Israel and bringing them back together. And and what is the whole Biden-Harris slogan right now is bringing back the soul of America or something like this. But when we look at the soul of humanity, it's almost like dividing them between the love and hate. Like either you love them or you hate them.
Yes, but remember, both of them are awakening humanity from different ways.
Yes, definitely.
Even doing it from a negative is awakening also.
Exactly.
So they're both doing it. They're both doing the job, but from a different angle, because we have to entertain everybody.
Right.
You know what I mean?
They become a mirror. Like we need to.
It's a mirror.
And
it's a mirror because Trump cannot go for the one on the bottom, and Joe might not go for the one on top. So each one using their skill to awaken where they're meant to be in the right place, the right time, and everything in the same angle to be awakening the majority of people. And there will be a lot of awakening happening in the next 2 months.
Oh, yeah.
Before the tsunami of 2021 arrives.
Right.
You know, because they're going to be a big tsunami, on not physical tsunami, but it's going to be energetic tsunami that's going to be conquering a lot of people. And many people will be cornered in order to make a decision.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, but we don't need to drive ourselves to that limit, because still the energy is going to flow regardless if we like it or not.
Yeah. I was doing a little bit of numbers this morning, just dates, because I was sending it to someone on Twitter, is who does the Jewish numbers. What's it called? I forget the name of it. Starts with a G.
Geometra.
Geometra. And she was posting, date meanings. But what came to me was about when Trump shut down flights from Europe, and obviously China had already been shut down, was on March 11th. And if you switch into the election dates, it's 11/3 instead of 3/11. Like these mirrors keep coming up and keep coming up. And it's just very interesting looking at things in different ways. And even on the election day in the Galactic Signature Blueprint of the day is is the Blue Storm on November 3rd. It's a Blue Storm Day, which is the world changer. And on November 4th, when we wake up, it's the yellow sun. And the yellow sun, the archetype, is the enlightened one. So it's like, whoa.
Yeah, but remember on November 3rd, the vibration of that day is a 9.
Yes.
The vibration of that day is a 9.
And what's then the next day? What's the 4th? Is a 1. We go back to 1.
The 4th will be 1.
1.
Will be 1.
Starting over.
Starting over. Because 9 is always the end of situation to start something new.
Yeah. Wow.
There's nothing by coincidence. Everything is in the right moment, in the right place, in the right everything. And Trump, he's a 9. He's a 45/9, so he is a 9, and that day will be more ease for him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And who will win the next day? We'll see where the beginning is gonna be starting from the next day over. But we still have to be careful into the vibration of November, because it's gonna be instrumental.
Yeah.
The vibration of December, they're gonna be instrumental. So it's not over for everybody, because the vibration needs to clean up and do as much as sweeping as they can be done.
Yeah, well, I mean, either way, it's going to be it's
going to be a big high vibration we're going into. We have to. This is why, in one of my posts, I said it's time to fasten your seatbelt.
Yeah, exactly. Because either way, if Trump wins, you're going to have Antifa and Black Lives and all of the New World Order throwing in everything at United States worldwide. And if Biden would win, you got all the patriots, and they're the ones with all the guns and rednecks, and
so it's gonna be a big ride for both candidates, because as you said before, it's one from different end of the spectrum.
Yeah, it's just like way
Back, and in the middle it's empty.
yeah.
There's so either the spectrum has to shift completely and to balance itself at 180 degrees this way, and then this is when we will have the calmness. But if we're staying like this, if we're staying like that, we need to bring it like this.
Yeah.
So we need the 180-degree shift, regardless who will win it. Because, but if you want to have that peaceful transitions, you need to have it at 180, and in order for everything to adjust itself, because like this is gonna be like two stubborn
Bulls,
sides, and they're gonna be, you know what I mean. So you need to balance it. It's like to bring it to the. It's like this one is a yin and this is a yang. So you need to bring the balance different into it. So and to have it calibrated in a different ways. So really everybody has to be putting the seat belt. People in the States, and just to be careful during those period of transition, because they're living it in that sense of it, and we'll hope for the best, for least casualties from either side.
Yeah.
So
in the States, and then the rest of the world, look out too. I mean, Canada is in not a very good position with internment camps and lockdowns are coming in, and it's then we get into the Five Eyes, which are
November 3rd is going to be the most televised event in the world.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Everybody watching, and many will be skipping work in their time zone.
Yeah.
Just to watch this event, because it's not going to happen twice.
Well, it's something I saw this morning on Twitter too. It was a huge motorcycle rally parade in Israel with all the Trump flags, and
I saw that this morning.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I mean, it is what it is, but it's just both sides that have to be really careful, because it can tip to anything.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, from my own experience in getting into places where they had wars and everything, only the innocent people are dying, not the other way around.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
So
well, Joseph,
that's a sad position about it,
Exactly.
So we'll wish for the best.
We could go on for hours and hours here. So I'm going to, we don't want to make the video too long. So Joseph, tell us how they can get a hold of you and what you have to offer, or something coming up. I know you're doing most of it online, or a lot of.
I have a lot of different things that can be involved. If somebody really wants a numerology chart, as I said, I'm 85% retired, but I've been getting so many people asking me to bring the 5D awareness to it. Mm-hmm. And so I might be doing, I'm doing eventually a special that I'm going to announce it next week, eventually, of 50% off of my own chart. And the chart will be at Soul Visions, Soul, SOUL, Visions, VISIONS.org. And if you want to go to where I cut the agreements and disconnection from the matrix, you can find it in Soul to Soul 1 and 2 that I offer, where we do that within 12 days, 12 weeks, I mean. We cut all the energies that hanging around. And you can go for that for soulvisionawakening.com, Soul Vision Awakening. And vision is without S, so soulvisionawakening.com. This is where my new company that I opened eventually on December 21st, 2019. So,
okay, I've got those written down. I'll post that in the comments below, like the websites.
I can write them down also. So it's not like they can reach me on Facebook. They can reach me on other platform. I'm in MeWe also. So and they can Google my name, they'll find me. So it's not like I'm not taken off from Google yet, so which
Yeah.
is okay. So
Yeah, you're off Facebook. Yeah, like most of us have been off Facebook. So it's
so
yeah.
that's
I think
to be honest, I'm very happy with that, and I'm also now doing a lot of awakening the gift
yeah,
and involving awaken the artist within. And this is basically, I'm not teaching how to paint. I'm teaching to awaken the gift and allow yourself to create. And that is on Sunday. I'm gonna have one on Sunday, one on Saturday coming up.
is
But
that
it's
live
a very
or
fun program. You don't need to have any experience in painting or anything else.
are you doing that on the
It
internet?
is online, live, yeah,
Online. Okay, live online. Okay.
internet, yeah, yeah.
So where
Now I'm
can they?
sitting on the table where I do that. You can see it in Soul Vision Awakening under the programs.
Okay.
In Soul Vision Awakening, it's a 9-week program, and as you know, all my programs you can repeat them a second time for free.
Yeah.
This is my habit for my programs. So so they can do 9 weeks, and they can add another 9 weeks to it, and they will have something to play. The purpose of that program is basically to bring the creative side, to awaken the female energy, and to have some joy.
Yeah. The right brain.
So,
Yeah.
so and it's not about what we paint. It's not about, but we're having unbelievable painting coming out from that experience on its own. So it's the second time I'm doing it. I'll be doing one live in Vancouver. If somebody is in Vancouver, I will be doing one live one. It is permitted, and we can take it from there.
So how many paintings have you done so far? You started what, 2 years
I
ago?
have 250 paintings. I started in April 2017, but in 2017 I did maybe 4 or 5 paintings, but 2018 I did about 95.
Wow.
And so, and if you want to see my paintings, they are on my creative self, mycreativeself33.com. I don't have all my paintings there yet, and I have a special on my first collection. Already I have a special on that. They can see it in art special. And my creative self33.com, and that's the fun part for me. I don't care what's happening on the streets. I don't care about what's happening in anything. I'm just immersed in my painting. Like when COVID started, everybody ran to find toilet paper. Me, I went to get more canvases.
Yeah.
So I didn't care about the toilet paper. So I need the
Yeah.
canvases. That's all I need. So
So
and that's
yeah,
where I found
joy.
my piece. Where I found it is there in those paintings. So
So
and it's fun to do
Joseph,
that.
it would be great when we open things up here. I would gonna mention, maybe plant a seed in you, is to come do a retreat, an artist retreat at Heaven and Earth Sanctuary down here in Costa Rica. Bring 10 or 12 people down, and
I don't have a problem, and many people like to come to Costa Rica anyway. So
yeah,
it's a time off.
exactly.
It's a time off, and let's
Well,
go and play.
yeah,
And for
it's
me, when I ask somebody to go and paint, I will tell them let's go and play,
yeah,
because let's have fun. Bring that 5-10 years old that used to have fun, and bring her out. That's all.
yeah.
So
Play in
and
the jungle and swim in the river and paint when you want, and yeah, would be beautiful.
so it would be
Brings out
nice.
the
Yeah, I will keep it in mind till we have those travel restriction
yeah.
lifted at one point.
Yeah, you can travel to Costa Rica now, and there's no quarantine, mandatory quarantine or anything. So,
We have quarantine when we come back here into Canada.
oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but many things can change after the election coming up in November. So
Yeah, it will. Okay, Joseph. Well, I think
All
we can
right.
wrap it up, and maybe we can do this again in the near future. And just
Anytime.
yeah,
Anytime.
yeah, it's so great to
And
talk to you and
there's a lot
connect.
of things can happen. There's a lot of things that is available to all of us. So why not? And education for things is not that bad. We need to start awakening people to different alternatives because there is a lot of alternatives.
Yeah,
And
we call them
it's not that
therapeutics.
we need to be, we don't need to be stuck in the same rut we keep doing over and over, you know.
That's right.
And
Well,
let's do that.
this is going to be a whole series with astrology and human design, many ways of reading. I'm also going to do some, I've done face reading on Trump. I've done his hands, his toes, his, not so much his body, and also definitely his galactic signature and soul and personality ray. So we're going to keep adding to these series of how to read people and get people interested in seeing who they are. And it's always nice to see public figures and what their challenges are, but it's about looking at ourselves, right? So stay tuned for much more, and different people's perspective and how they read people. So thank you, Joseph. We're going to sign off.
Yes.
And
I mean, look, there's a lot of, bye.
happy Halloween.
Nice seeing you, Carol. And
Yes, you too.
you know, I don't participate in Halloween me, so it's okay.
No, they do. Neither do I. We're actually doing just a meditation today. So circling and keeping the light. Everyone's wearing white. So
That's good. All right, then.
okay, love you. Take care.
Bye. Love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.